Big fluff.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, where's Richard?
Oh, he's not in today. Could I have your name, please?
Hack, Marilyn Hack, stage 11.
I'm sorry. You look familiar. Are you an actor?
32 years.
Yeah, you were in that prison movie with Sharon Stone.
Nope,
And you had that scene where you punched that little girl in the face.
not me.
That was a good movie. You should have been in that movie.
I'm sure I should have been. May I go in?
Sure, and you're all set. Have a good one.
Hello again. I'm Joel Murphy.
And I'm Andy McIntyre.
And this is Silver Linings Playback, the podcast where we watch maligned movies and we find their silver linings.
And it is the start of the month of February. And as a bit of a break from tradition, we don't have a theme set up yet because we decided to pay tribute to one of the greatest actresses of all time, Catherine O'Hara, who passed away recently. And so we watched her Christopher Guest film For Your Consideration as our movie this week because Catherine O'Hara is great and just no misses except for maybe this one.
Yes. We'll at the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit more about what we have planned for the rest of the month. But yeah, like it made sense to do this. We, obviously this is sort of last minute. We very much have just heard this news and are still processing the news. But I think that is a really funny thing that like and speaks so well of her and her career that we were like, I think you texted me and you were like, do you want to do something with Catherine O'Hara? And I was like, yeah, we should do that. But then it was hard to find a movie that she did that was maligned.
Yeah. She did a couple of like cheesy Christmas movies and had some bit parts and things where the movie wasn't well received, but anything where she's front and center, pretty well regarded. And I don't think that's an accident or a coincidence.
No, she has like a Hall of Fame batting average when it comes to choosing and being in projects, because most of them are bangers, and some all time classics as well.
Yeah. From Beetlejuice, Home Alone, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, and then this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But it felt nice. I think, obviously this will be specifically we will talk about For Your Consideration, but like it gives us a chance to talk about the Christopher Guest stuff and to talk about her career as a whole. And it is a funny thing because I don't know what your experience was of her, but I know for me, it's hard to remember chronologically if I saw Home Alone first or Beetlejuice first, but it was definitely like I was a kid. I saw those movies. And I clocked, it was really funny because you'll see stuff now on the internet where it's like people will be like, did you know? And it's like, yeah, I knew this when I was like 8. But anyway, like I was aware at the time that like the lady who played the mom in Beetlejuice was also the lady who played the mom in Beetlejuice was also the lady who played the mom in Home Alone. And I watched both of those movies a lot as a kid. And I was like, I like this lady. She's obviously the Deo banana boat scene.
She's the best part of Beetlejuice. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, that's a pretty bold statement. I'm not willing to like really go hard against disagreeing with you. I feel like Michael Keaton's in the conversation.
Yeah, it's 1A and 1B, but I think she's 1A.
But I'm not willing to really like disagree with you. The most iconic scene in the movie is her specifically dancing to Deo, the Banana Boat song by Harry, the Harry Belafonte cover of that song.
Yes. But yeah, no, she like, I know for a fact that Beetlejuice was my first exposure to Catherine O'Hara. Just because that movie was, I think, played on a loop on HBO for a while.
It was. Yeah, that's where I saw it, too. It was always on HBO. And it was one of those ones wherever it was, you would play it. By the way, this has nothing to do with Catherine O'Hara, except that it has to do with the Banana Boat song. But do you know what I found out recently? And I don't know when else I'm going to get to say this fact, so I want to say it on the show right now. The song Deo Banana Boat obviously is like it's a work song that was covered by Harry Belafonte. It was also covered by other bands. And in fact, before the Harry Belafonte, a very popular version of it was this group. And I don't have the name of the group in front of me, but one of the singers that had a charting version of that song was Alan Arkin.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Like he has a version that predates it. He was in a group, like a sort of folk group. And yeah, he sang the Banana Boat song. So there you go. That's neither here nor there, but when else am I going to get to share that?
I listen, Beetlejuice was just well enough regarded to avoid our wrath. So, yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah. And I also remember because I did watch a decent amount of SCTV because I had brothers that were a lot older than me. So they would watch, they were watching it. And so I would watch it along with them. And she was obviously a big part of that because she was part of the Second City Toronto group that had Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis and John Candy and all the people that were on, SCTV. So I did have that exposure of her as well. But I think forever she will be Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice for me, first and foremost.
Well, right. And that was kind of what I wanted to say, too, is that was my introduction. That's what I know her of. And I also, yeah, Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice is great. But there is because I rewatched Home Alone for Christmas, and she really is the heart of Home Alone as well, yeah. Where it's that movie, there's all this stuff with Kevin, and Macaulay Culkin is obviously great in that movie. And all the stuff with Marv and Harry is really good, but it's the engine of that movie is her trying to get home, and the whole arc is Kevin thinks he wants to be alone, but then he really wants his family back, and it's her walking through the door and hugging him that is the emotional catharsis of the movie, and it's amazing, and she plays it amazing, and it's for someone that we think of as a comedic actress, it is purely a dramatic role. She's not funny in Home Alone.
No. Some of her franticness does get laughs, like the Kevin, yeah, and all that. But no, it is Home Alone is a great example of two movies in one, because you have Die Hard in a wealthy Chicago suburb. And you also have this mother's desperate plight to get home to find her son who's been left alone in a wealthy Chicago suburb.
Yeah. And some great stuff with her and John Candy as well.
Yeah.
Just when they're just talking in the back of the truck as he's driving.
Yes.
It's really good. She's fantastic in that. But then, yeah, so that was my introduction. But then it was much later that, when I was a teenager, that I discovered it almost felt because I knew her as moms, it's almost like learning your own mom had a life, outside of you, of oh, she's not just the mom from stuff. She did SCTV and she does these Christopher Guest movies, and really learning oh, this woman is hilarious. She is phenomenally talented and has done all of this work, and yeah, is an absolute scene stealer in most Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah, and obviously is then known to the most recent generation as Moira from Schitt's Creek, but it's weird. It's interesting to use the phrase scene stealer because she also makes everyone around her look so good.
Oh right, yeah, no, it is but
she also steals the scene, but steals the scene for everybody that's in the scene. It doesn't just steal all the focus. She makes that scene good through how talented she is.
Absolutely. She's just a phenomenal improviser. And as I'm sure anyone listening to this probably knows, but these Christopher Guest movies are predominantly improv. They have a loose outline and then everything else is
there are
improvised.
there's no like dialogue written for these movies.
It's like how Curb Your Enthusiasm is done, or, you know, it's just sort of everything is improvised. And I mean, the other thing that's really interesting about Christopher Guest stuff in general, and then that leads us into specifically talking about For Your Consideration, is, I mean, Christopher Guest and also who we recently lost, the late great Rob Reiner, like together really pioneered what is now the mockumentary format with Spinal Tap originally, and then all the stuff that you mentioned before, like the Best in Show, you know, Mighty Wind, Guffman, like all of those. And that's normally this cast of players that's in this. That's normally what they would be doing. But very interestingly, this movie, because this is now like the aughts, like it's in the aughts. It's
like 06.
Yeah, it's 06. And it's funny because Ricky Gervais and John Krasinski are both in this movie, and they are the ones that, like, I guess, you know, maybe you could say popularized, maybe you could say oversaturated, but whatever way you look at it, The Office is what a lot of people think of when they think of mockumentaries, which is obviously 100%. Like The Office, and I hope Ricky Gervais would admit this, owes a huge debt to what, like, Christopher Guest it was doing in these movies.
I would have to assume that, I mean, Ricky Gervais seems like maybe the most pompous asshole.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that if he didn't understand where he got these ideas from, he wouldn't have done For Your Consideration.
Right. But that's kind of what I viewed it as. I viewed him being there as sort of this acknowledgement of the sort of legacy of what they created and what it had become. But it's also interesting that in 2006, seemingly Christopher Guest is tired of doing mockumentaries. It is trying to do the same kind of movie, but without the talking heads, you know, into camera, like without the framework of a documentary, but just like, can we improvise a movie that is just a movie, like, which is what this is. Like, it's, you know, like it's much more structured than
the camera's an omniscient narrator in this movie. It's
absolutely
not an involved observer,
and nobody talks into camera.
No. And there's no nods or winks or anything like that. It's I mean, it's winky because of just how they are.
Right. Well, everyone like all these people are ridiculous people. And so, you know, and they say ridiculous things. Yeah.
But it's but the fourth wall is as more firm in this movie than any of the movies that you know, they don't even, like, it isn't even the artificial fourth wall of a documentary. Like, there is, like, we are voyeurs essentially watching these people make this movie and then not get nominated for Oscars.
So that brings me to the first question I want to ask you about this movie, which is, I think we are both agreeing that this is the least successful Christopher Guest film with these players. How much of that do you think is the abandonment of the mockumentary format?
How much is that, and how much is the minimal involvement of Eugene Levy and Fred Willard?
Well, I have a few thoughts about what else it might be, but because I'm like, mockumentary, I'm like, it's not zero. I don't think it's 0% the reason. But I also don't think it's the biggest problem in this movie.
No, I don't. Like, I think that a movie where you're watching like the making of documentary of Home for Purim / Thanksgiving, I don't know if it's a better movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think what you lose is, and especially because we're framing this as like Catherine O'Hara, but it's like a lot of when I think about some of my favorite stuff that she does, it is usually like it might be her and Fred Willard, you know, talking to camera, you know, so it's like there is a certain rhythm that was established that, like, by monologuing, the people could sort of get in really funny stuff that maybe the structure of this movie doesn't give them as much freedom to play in the same way.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think that it plays everybody's strengths to let them essentially character monologue. And then I think they also learn things about their characters when they're doing that and being like, oh, okay, so if I'm like this here, then when I'm doing scene work, I can now use that bit in the scenes.
Right. It sort of becomes its own exercise of like you're defining your character by telling the audience who your character is and then playing to what you've defined.
Right.
Yeah. So I do think something is lost. But I also think you're right. If you look at the heavy hitters, it's like Eugene Levy not really given much interesting to do. Fred Willard, he's in the right role, but he's until the end. I will say maybe we'll put a pin in the last part where he's going to interview them. But up until then, there's not much to play. I would even say, Catherine O'Hara, this character is all like, in some ways, I think she's too sad that it's like, I don't know how funny this character is compared to some of her other characters because she's kind of just sad.
Well, and I think that like the joke of her getting plastic surgery in the third act, like it sells her character out, I think. It does.
And it literally like limits what she's able to do at that point. Like because like in real life, when people get plastic surgery like that, like suddenly her face isn't expressive and like she's very limited in like what she can actually play at that point.
And if IMDb trivia is to be believed, that was done without makeup. That was just her holding that face.
I want to believe that's true. I'm just going to choose to believe it's true.
Listen, I don't want to live in a world where that's not true.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think there's some miscalculations there. But I also had another thought about what's not working in this movie. And I'm curious what you think about it. I think the world is wrong. I think the stakes are wrong because I think that one of the really fun things about Christopher Guest movies are the fact that they normally focus on these niche worlds where it's like a local theater company or the dog show or even like bluegrass, which is a kind of a niche world of music. And the thing that I think usually ends up being really fun to see and really funny is it's a world where because we as the audience, it's like, I don't really care about this local theater company. I don't really care about dog shows or whatever. The stakes to us feel non-existent, but to the characters, this is high stakes because this is the thing they love. So if Guffman shows up, they believe that's going to change their life, but we know that it's not. And there's just a dramatic irony that ends up being really funny. It's like, it's funny to us that like these people are breaking down at the dog show because it's like, I don't care who wins the dog show. Like I don't care about this shitty metal band that like, isn't ever quite making it.
And that's the thing is like, if you win the dog show, you are the king of that world, but anonymous everywhere else.
Right. And I think that's such a fun thing to play is like, yeah, I think the king of world you never thought about is a perfect, like real documentary subject, but certainly a mockumentary thing too. And I think you can see that now. There's like that Shearer show, or whatever. It's like that's or like it's about a paper company. Like I think there's something elemental about that of like, yeah, these people are taking this seriously, but we don't think that what they do is serious. And I think just you can still make the same argument with Hollywood and with the movie. And I think they try to capture that. But I think there's just something different because like sort of in the same way of like royal watchers or whatever, people care about the Academy Awards, whether it's important or not. The average person, like there are, people like me who get very invested in what's nominated and actors and Hollywood and the behind the scenes. So it's like, I think it's just not the same on that level for the audience that we do inherently probably care more about who gets nominated for an Academy Award.
Well, yeah. And I think that's another, and now I'm not in the business as it were. But I think there's a flaw in the premise is because I don't think that movies develop Oscar buzz while they're shooting.
I thought that too. It didn't really make sense because like, and especially now, I mean, there's a lot that could be said about it because it's like one that I don't think they while they're shooting, and especially if they change the name and all of that, but also like you campaign for an Oscar. They pay a lot of money to campaign for an Oscar.
Yeah, it is much more a popularity contest than a merit award.
Yeah, which is also the same reason, and I want to be clear about this. I didn't know I was going to get into this, but it sort of came up organically. That's why Andy and I didn't win a Golden Globe for podcasting. We could have. I want to be clear, we could have, but this is actually true. The entrance fee to even be considered for the podcasting Golden Globe was $500, and then you also would have had to campaign for it, and so that's why we didn't apply for a thing that because we're established.
Because we're about the art.
We're about the art, and that's why we do it. And we know that we're the greatest podcast, so we don't need a meaningless trophy.
Poehler.
Finally, we're saying it. We have beef with Amy Poehler.
Yeah, we listen, Amy Poehler, who by all accounts is the most delightful human being on the planet. Fuck off.
More like bad hang.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Amy polarizing.
To the negative.
Yeah.
That's right. Suck on that.
Oh, man. I felt
What's
good.
the B in UCB if you ask me right now? That's what I say.
Whoa.
That's right. I went there.
Out of the three letters you picked, I think it's good that you went with B.
What's the U?
Well, I mean, I think that makes her important.
Okay.
She's the U in UCB.
Yeah.
She's all of us.
She's all of us.
She's every woman. I do love Amy Poehler. Yeah, I can't keep up kayfabe anymore. Like, I love Amy Poehler.
I will break kayfabe, but that was very fun to do because
it really was. Yeah.
She just seems amazing and
Absolutely.
And Good Hang is actually a really good listen.
Yeah, I mean, totally. But that award is a sham, and I stand by that statement.
Yeah, I listen. No pushback for here. Well, it's like when they do like the Webbies and stuff. It's like the entrance fee is absurd.
Yeah, because we like to actually pull back the curtain when we started doing this show. I think you were more interested than I was, but you would like really look into applying to award stuff. And we did, we were on like the Best of Baltimore and
a couple times.
Yeah, like we have done some stuff, but yeah, there are crazy fees associated.
But that one is free.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But yeah, so like there is a lot of gatekeeping to those awards, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
100%.
rant over about that.
Yeah. So the basic plot of this movie is there's Oscar buzz about this movie called Home for Purim, which is an absurd premise for a film.
I love it. I want to say
I do too.
Early silver lining is Home for Purim made me laugh just conceptually.
Yeah. And there's some anonymous tip that's never like ever expounded upon like where this buzz comes from, but there's Oscar buzz surrounding all of the acting performances in the movie.
Well, but it's sort of a domino thing because like first there's something online about Catherine O'Hara, and then it starts to be Harry Shearer, and then it starts to be Parker Posey, and then there's the guy who plays the son who has no buzz whatsoever. He's the only one. And
then in the twist ending, he gets nominated.
He's the only one who gets nominated in the end. But yeah, they all start to believe, very similar to Waiting for Guffman, they all start to believe that they are going to win an Academy Award. And it's established Catherine O'Hara's character is sort of like never, like she's been a working actress, but she's never really had something. She's not famous. She's never like really hit it big. She's just been out there like doing work, and it's never quite worked out for her.
Well, she did that Sharon Stone movie in the prison.
Yeah, yes, she did. Harry Shearer is like, I do love his character in this, where he's most famous for like selling hot dogs, right? He's a
hot dog mascot. Yeah,
he's a hot dog mascot, but he's like a commercial pitch man more than considered to be like a prestigious actor. And then Parker Posey is a comedian who
It's like a sort of like a Janine Garofalo style alt comic.
Yeah, sort of an edgy alt comic who's transitioning into serious work. And then, yeah, she's also dating the guy who is her brother in the movie, who's the only one who gets nominated. And then you have McKean, shows up as one of the writers. Is it him and Balaban?
And Bob Balaban are the writers.
Yeah, they're the writers. And Eugene Levy is playing Harry Shearer's manager.
Agent manager, yeah. Ed Begley Jr. is Catherine O'Hara's manager agent person.
Yeah. And then you get what's her name? Stifler's mom.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge is the producer. Yeah. Who Ricky Gervais hits on very creepily as the studio head. Yeah.
And then Jane Lynch and Fred Willard are the Entertainment Tonight hosts.
Yes.
The Entertainment Tonight clone hosts. Fred Willard has a ridiculous faux hawk the whole time.
Yes. Yeah. And Ricky Gervais plays a guy who thinks they should tone down the religious elements of the movie, which seems like a stretch for him.
Yeah, so it's a look at him stepping outside his comfort zone. But yeah, and then so it's eventually like the nominations come out. Nobody gets nominated except for the son, and then they all sort of settle into their post act. Like Harry Shearer goes back to pitching hot dogs again. Catherine O'Hara
he's pitching a hula hoop exercise or a hula exercise. Yeah. It's like a belt,
a weighted hula belt. Yeah,
it's a weighted hula belt that he's dancing at the end. Catherine O'Hara is teaching an acting class. And
Parker Posey goes back to do her one-woman show,
which looks great. I would love to see that one-woman show that she's
Penis Not Intended.
Yeah, Penis Not Intended seems like a banger. Like, would absolutely see that in New York.
Yes. Off Broadway.
Yes. And also, as alluded to, they at some point Ricky Gervais gets involved once it starts getting Oscar buzz. Which, again, to your point, I think this strains the credulity of how Hollywood works. But like the movie starts to get Oscar buzz and then he decides to tinker with it. And he decides to make it that it's too Jewish and that he wants to make it Home for Thanksgiving, which is it's then changed to. And other than that, we don't really know what other changes they made. We just know they changed the title.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing is that the premise of the movie is that this is a Jewish family in the American South in the 1950s.
Yes.
Or no, 1940s. They talk about going to fight Admiral Tojo.
Right. Yes. And the mother and daughter are estranged, Catherine O'Hara and Parker Posey. And Parker Posey is queer, I think, in it, like as well. Yeah, and there's like
she brings her girlfriend home to Purim.
Yeah, and there's tension about that and tension in the relationship.
Like they do a Purim dinner scene, and there's like a hilarious bit where the posters their heads in Hamantaschen and like
yeah.
And
also Catherine O'Hara's character is like ill in the movie as well.
Yeah. Embarrassingly so, like has the vapors,
very like Academy Award bait ill. And then also the other subplot is with McKean and Balaban. They're always on the set and they're constantly like, let's throw out the script. Let's just like improvise this scene. Christopher Guest is the director and he seems to have no respect for their actual written words.
Yes. Yeah, at points he's like, why don't you guys just read each other's dialogue and we'll see how that goes.
Which is funny too, because like obviously I don't think this was intentional, but it kind of reminded me of like I just watched Megadoc, and that is very much like what Coppola does on his sets. Is like he plays all these like games with actors. So that stuff is legit. What directors do these like weird actor exercises and such.
Well, it's like if anyone's watched Wonder Man, there's an episode where very much that happens as well. So with a director playing mind games with his casting choices.
I haven't watched it, but my favorite coffee shop is supposedly in there at some point. Highlight Coffee. So
nice.
Yeah, I want to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we touched on a lot of the way, like this movie, I think it almost was like the source material is almost like too relatable in that it's a world that people think they know about. And I think that was a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Like whether you like, people think they know what actors do and what acting is like and what Hollywood is like, whether they have the faintest clue or not. Right. It's just one of those things.
Yes.
And it's, that the amount of artifice and like the way that like people, if you're not involved in community theater, you don't know what goes on there. If you're not involved with dog shows, and like, I don't even know for sure if Christopher Guest knows what goes on in community theater or dog shows. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because we have minimal preconceived notions, because we can all relate to someone who takes something way too seriously, and they have these fun character archetypes and, just really talented comedic actors that make it all work. But I think the fact that like this was the most recognizable world, that I think that was something that didn't set this movie up for the most success. Right.
Well, and I think to add to that too, there are countless movies about Hollywood.
So many.
Like that's Hollywood loves making movies about Hollywood and making movie about Academy Awards and like I love this stuff and I am interested in it, but it's like, there's like a million at Babylon, The Player, like, choose your
La La
Land, choose your decade, choose, A Star Is Born, whatever.
I mean, going back to Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Like movies about movies, is pretty common. So it's like, it's kind of just well-worn territory and territory that we all feel like we know a lot about. And I think that just hurt them from the start.
Whereas like, I think that like, if this was about people striving for a Tony, it may have worked better.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because, in the world of plays. Yeah.
But then again, he did plays with community theater. And so it might've seemed like he was retreading, but I think also like, plays do get buzz when they're like working it through the system, getting it to Broadway in rehearsals. Like that's where the buzz actually happens. Whereas it's not until like screenings really start that people, like people will talk about, like Tom Cruise is clearly Oscar chasing with this new role in this movie. But the actual buzz doesn't start until there's something to see besides the dailies that only like a producer is going to see.
Right. Home for Purim is an Oscar baity type of movie. Like I
Yes.
think people would understand that movie is being made with awards hopes. But yes, there's like, and now even more than when this movie came out, like this is really solidified, over the last 2 decades, since this movie came out. But it's like a thing. Like if you want to win an Academy Award, like you have to, create a campaign. You got to go on this long press tour. Like we're well past the days. And even in 2006, we were past the days of just like organically things getting nominated. Like nothing gets nominated for an Academy Award accidentally or surprisingly now. It is with great effort that movies are nominated.
It's almost like so well crafted where, because they have the 5 performances, directors, whatever, that are up for the part. And, there's always 4 that have been nominated for everyone else. So they always throw in that one that didn't get nominated in too many other places to be like, yeah, see, which has no chance of winning.
Right. So, I mean, sometimes they nominate F1 and you're like, oh, I guess a lot of dads voted. Okay.
Yeah. I hear F1 is good, but
I watched it. It's fine. I am still, after having seen it, surprised it was nominated for Best Picture, but it's not bad.
Sure.
I mean, if you've never seen Days of Thunder or the greatest racing movie ever made, Talladega Nights, then it's good. But
yeah. But when Brad Pitt produces something, it tends to get an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, again, not accidentally.
Yeah.
It's because he has dirt on everyone in Hollywood.
It's true. But yeah, it's so I think that like this movie just wasn't set up for success the way the rest of the guest verse is.
Yes.
Because it's like seeing a self-important Hollywood actor, yeah, we sort of assume that they're all that way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You
and
know,
again,
that, like,
it's inherently funnier in Waiting for Guffman to have a self-important local theater actor because, again,
right,
they're not important, like they have no status.
Or dog trainer.
Right. Yeah, because like however people feel about actors, there's a cultural cachet to being a famous actor. Like there are benefits to it, tangible benefits in the world,
And, like all these people had a modicum of fame prior to, and so like, and fame changes a person.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm told, and would love to find out one day.
I don't think it would change me, and I would love to be able to prove that. So
make Joel famous. If one thing happens out of this episode, make Joel Murphy famous.
Honestly, even
see
just
if it changes him.
Makes me feel terrible. I do not want to be famous. Hate it immediately. I just want that cake. I just want that cake that Tom Cruise sends people. And I know that I could go and buy it myself, but I want Tom Cruise to send it to me.
The Tom Cruise cake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds like a really good cake.
It does sound like a really good cake, and I just want it. I want whatever level of fame you need to get the Tom Cruise cake and nothing else.
So Tom Hanks? You want to be Tom Hanks?
I do want to be Tom Hanks.
Because I know he gets the Tom Cruise cake.
I want to collect typewriters. I want to have two sons that are radically different and who are named very appropriately to their specific personalities.
Yes. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit, bud. You go for that.
I want to have gotten COVID first and to have shocked the nation. Yeah. Tom Hanks stuff. I want to have sex with a volleyball.
I mean, you haven't told anyone? I thought to pivot?
I think we're ready to pivot.
Funny that you want to pivot right now. Interesting.
I think we're done with this conversation and it's time to pivot. I don't think there's any reason to keep talking about this conversation. I don't see any reason to keep doing it. I think it's time to pivot.
All right. Let's pivot.
Pivot!
I think so. Talking about silver linings, I think we should hold off on talking about Catherine O'Hara and talk about some of the other silver linings first. It's half a reason to malign, so I want to do this first. But man, Fred Willard, he's the best part of this movie. He's my favorite part of this movie.
He is great, and like I said, I agree with you that he's underused, but the part at the end where he goes, normally we talk to people who are nominated, but we're going to change things up and go talk to people who didn't get nominated. And then he's just ambushing the cast of Home for Thanksgiving is so funny. And each one is really good because Parker Posey is the first one. And it's so sad where like she's just trying to eat her breakfast and like be left alone, and he's like, oh, let's get some humble pie over here. And he's just really razzing on her, and then he ruins a commercial audition for Harry Shearer by just bursting in, and then says that they have to get him to sign a release to use the footage of him for the commercial audition if they're filming him. And then ambushes Catherine O'Hara as she's taking her trash out and seems inebriated.
Yeah,
she's talking to him.
No, it's amazing. Fred Willard might be the best at playing clueless of any actor ever.
Him in Best of Show, because every time I listen to it, it's so funny because there's one line. I wish I knew the other guy's name, and he's in this movie, but the other guy who does the commentary in Best in Show, where he says like, I believe you made that joke last year. And they're just like build this world where Fred Willard is established as having multiple years under his belt as the announcer of this dog show. And he knows nothing about dogs, and he's terrible at doing this job.
Is it was it Michael David Higgins? Is that his name? Is he the other commentator?
Was it John Michael Higgins?
John Michael Higgins?
No, because he's the one that's.
Oh, no, he's one of the trainers.
He's dating McKean. It's the guy. He's in this movie as well because he's the one that Catherine O'Hara asks to look something up on the internet for her. In this movie. Right. But anyway, like he's so funny in that. All of the like. Is it A Mighty Wind where he's wait, which one is it where he says that he had the show with the like I can't do my work, you know?
I think that's A Mighty Wind.
Yeah. Like all of that's really good. What happened? Like all
but yeah, just like no one's better at missing the point than Fred Willard is I think a good way to describe it.
Yeah, that is a good way to describe it.
It's a terrible movie, but in American Wedding, he plays Allison Hannigan's dad. So it kind of reunites the guest verse because Eugene Levy plays Jason Biggs' dad.
Right.
But like at the wedding, he says, I hope we sit many happy Shivas together.
I like that.
And it's like, that's a good fucking joke.
Yeah. By the way, Jim Pittick is the announcer.
Yeah.
And he's in this. He plays Simon Whitsett in For Your Consideration. But yeah, Fred Willard is great. Yeah, also do want to give a shout out to like the thing that's hyper specific about Christopher Guest in these movies, and I don't know how he does it, is everyone else, and I don't even think this is a knock on them in any way because I ultimately don't think it matters, but it's like I'm like, that's Catherine O'Hara. That's Fred Willard. That's Jane Lynch. That's whoever it is. It's like, I feel like I'm watching the person. The character work that Christopher Guest does in every single one of these, he is the only one that I'm like, no, whoever he is, I'm like, that guy exists. Like he like never feels in any way the same. The voice is always so different. Yeah. Like the mannerisms are different. The look is different. And he really has such a broad range of like, was it Corky is the Waiting for Guffman director versus like the guy in Best in Show that just has like, you know, peanut, like the guys who's just naming nuts with his like Basset Hound or whatever. It's just like hyper specific characters that immediately feel lived in and real. And I honestly like he is truly a chameleon in these movies.
Yeah, because everybody else, it's the same. Like, I mean, Michael McKean, one of the greatest comedic actors and actors, period. Like, he's phenomenal in Better Call Saul, but he's always kind of Michael McKean.
Well,
in these movies, I think
in these movies, yes, I think he has a lot of range because it's like you mentioned Better Call Saul.
No, I'm just saying specifically in the guest movies.
In the guest movies, absolutely, he's always kind of the same guy. Yes, I would. Yes.
And Fred Willard, I think, is maybe the guiltiest of that.
Fred Willard is literally the same person. You could like in the way. It's like when Bruce Campbell shows up in a Sam Raimi movie or whatever. Like he's literally not playing it like this is a different guy. Like he's Fred Willard in every single one. And I don't think he's wrong to do that.
No, I don't think it's the wrong choice on any level. But yeah, it's and I think like Jane Lynch always kind of Jane Lynch's, you know.
Jennifer Coolidge also has a very specific, like she's always kind of this kind of space cadet. She always has money. She always seems to have money and status and is always like spacey, you know,
very like vapid and vacant.
Yeah.
But like, no, this ensemble is infinitely watchable though. Like that's, I think just objectively true. Even this movie that's wildly mediocre, it's still at least watchable for how funny and good everybody is in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And Catherine O'Hara, obviously.
And Catherine O'Hara, just what a great actress and performer Catherine O'Hara is.
There is a light to her, like one of those people where it's just like she lights up rooms. You know, you get that. You get that sense of just this warmth and radiance and just like everyone, like you could see it, you know, when people talk, everyone loved her. Like nobody has anything bad to say about her. Everyone talks about what an amazing performer she was. Like
it all feels super genuine too. Like all the tributes, like, because I mean, whenever anybody of a fairly high Hollywood status passes away, there's always, you know, myriad tributes of people come in, and you can tell the ones that are genuine and you tell the ones that are performative. Like all of these feel real. I think another thing that speaks to just how amazing she is like people on like my social media that I didn't think of that were like big comedy fans or like would be into that like level of, she's sort of niche in some ways, even though she's obviously been Beetlejuice, Home Alone, done a lot of very big things. But the number of people that were just like expressing their heartbreak and just, you know, like how bummed out they were about her passing, I think speaks to just how wide her reach was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And she's amazing, and she's amazing in this. I think the scene when she's in the very beginning, when she's trying to get into the lot and the security guards like doesn't care, and it's just watching her like die a little inside when that happens. It's just so good and so subtle.
Yes. No, I think that's my favorite scene of hers in the movie. Like it's so good. And I think that is the thing. And I think that's kind of what I was saying with Home Alone. And I think that's true if you go back and watch a lot of these movies, is like she's so funny, but so often she's just playing utter sincerity in a way that like other people, and you wouldn't even blame them for it, would be going for laughs. She's really comfortable just playing honesty and being present and knowing that it will be funny.
Yeah, she's like the perfect example of like truth in comedy and just playing it with complete sincerity and complete honesty, and it absolutely just crushing, even when she's playing someone as heightened as Delia Dietz in the Beetlejuice movies.
What do you think? Do you have a favorite Christopher Guest, Catherine O'Hara?
That's tough. I mean, I think her best performance is in A Mighty Wind, but I don't know if that's like.
Yeah, A Mighty Wind is another one that's very sincere. Like it's, you know, like very heartfelt, that performance.
And the song she does with Michael McKean and Eugene Levy is like a legitimately beautiful song.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I had to pick, I think I'd say A Mighty Wind is my favorite of hers. Nice.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't
think so either.
Yeah.
And she's great in this. She's fantastic. I think she gets overshadowed in Best in Show, which is why I wouldn't pick that, because I think there's other people that stand out.
Okay, you know what's so funny is like I was gonna say Best in Show. I think that actually is my answer, because Best in Show has my favorite game with her, of the fact that like she's dated everyone. And it's like it's such a like, it's the running joke throughout the thing, and you get some really great stuff with was it Larry Miller, like when they go to have dinner at Larry Miller's and they're doing all that, but it's at the very end when they're recording the thing, and it's the guy in the booth recognizes her, and he's like, does this ring a bell? And she's like, bulge. And it like that kill, but also I mean Guffman is also great too. Like, yeah, no, she's it's unsurprising that she was part of this universe because of like just how fun she is it's just how fun it seems to be able to play off of her, and how just giving she seems to be as a performer. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, like it's definitely a loss, and it was it is rare that celebrity deaths like register with me in a meaningful way, because I'm mostly dead inside myself. But this one definitely bummed me out. Yeah. Well, and I think the only other thing I can think to add to that is since this is a particularly Jewish Christopher Guest movie with Home for Purim, her memory is a blessing, I think we can safely say. Yes. And what a loss and what a life. Also, we have to weirdly now transition into the thing this is going to be odd. as Andy and I said, we're dead inside and broken. No, we do want to announce for the rest of February and for the future of this show, we are incredibly close to hitting episode 300. And
300.
We have decided to, when we hit 300, take a bit of a break. We're gonna stop at 300 because these movies have broken us and we need time to heal our brains.
To heal. Yeah, it's we've watched 300 maligned movies of wildly varying degrees of quality, and it's been transformative. Is the only way I can explain it, is that my barometer for judging movies has changed in many ways for the better, but it's also irrevocably broken.
And I saw multiple doctors. I went to 4 or 5 doctors, which is very expensive because I don't know if people know about healthcare, but it's not great in this country. But they all unanimously recommended that I stop doing the show immediately for my brain health.
Which is weird. They didn't just say, get the fuck out of here. You're coming to us about podcasting?
No, I mean, they were like, oh, like Amy Poehler. And then they told me to stop doing it. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like, you're never going to be as good as Amy Poehler. So you might as well get out now.
Yeah. But so we're going to stop at 300. And what we're going to aim to do in this last stretch is have as many people as we can back on some old guests and let them do Revenge of the Guest movies and pick what they want to watch and visit with some old friends. And we'll probably still end up doing, we haven't finalized everything. We'll probably still end up doing some just us as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's going to be exciting. So like some of our favorite guests over the years are going to come back. At least one first time guest is going to be on the show.
Oh yeah. I was like, who?
Jonathan Monroe.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we announced it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided
maybe that was our.
Yeah. We buried the hatchet with Jonathan Monroe.
We finally let him. We're letting him on the show.
And you might wonder why. How did you guys come to that? And we've done it long enough, and our brains were broken by these movies enough that I can't remember why we banned him. So
yeah, I cannot remember either. So so that's going to be the next like 6 or 7 weeks of the show. We'll take a little break, and then at some point we may silverline some movies later on too.
You never know. I mean, as Kevin Conroy once said to me, that's right. I'm name dropping that I spoke to Batman. The world is not promised to us. There's no guarantees.
Yabba dabba do.
Silver Linings Playback is a production of HoboTrashcan.com. If you enjoyed the show, please rate or review it on Apple Podcasts. Hear more great shows on the Peak Sloth Podcast Network.